Okay, so for the Properties of Water lab, you are just going to click on this link. It is going to give you a description of what you're supposed to be doing. Because we can't do this in class, I'm not going to have you do the experiment at home. Most of you probably have the materials, but that's besides the point. So I'm going to give you the data. This is a really, really important lab because it's really our first introduction to statistics, which we will be using throughout the entire quarter, semester, all the time. So you're going to be reflecting on those properties of water that you learned about, and you're also going to be using statistical analysis. So when you open up the lab, there we go. It should prompt you to make a copy. You're going to make a copy so that you can just type directly into this document. I have instructions here. The main thing I want to point out is please make sure you're filling in all of the highlighted areas. So make sure your name is on it. When you scroll down, there's different blanks that you're going to need to be calculating and filling in. So make sure you're filling in these different areas. Again, here's the data that I pre-give you. So you need to figure out the mean or the average for those two sets of data. And then here is where you're calculating and doing all of the actual statistical tests. For the statistical tests, you don't need to show me work. Just use your calculator, and that's what I want you to practice with. At the end of the day on the AP test, you get your calculator. You don't need to show all of your work, especially with standard deviation. That is a very, very long formula, and it takes a long time. So you do not need to write all that out. Just give me the answer, okay? The next thing, part 3, make sure you watch this video. This is going to help you learn how to create your graph on Google Sheets. You have to create a graph of this data that you have up here. And that graph has to include what we call standard error bars. So with the standard error bars, this is going to not only show you how to create the bar graph, but how to put those standard error bars on there. So when you are finished and you create that graph on Google Sheets, make sure you take a screenshot of the graph and you're just going to put it right here. You're just going to copy and paste it. In part 4, all you're doing is answering questions. Then you have an argumentation section. So in this argumentation, some of you have probably had teachers at this point that have introduced claim evidence reasoning. If not, there is a link right here that will give you some sentence starters. It also has a rubric, so it'll help you learn how to write one. I've also put some hints in parentheses next to this on what does it mean to make a claim, what is evidence, what is reasoning, okay? If you have any questions on this lab, please feel free to reach out to me. I know it might be a little bit confusing. Just make sure you're reading everything in all directions fully. And if you are having trouble with any of the statistics, you need to sign up for my office hours so that we can go over them together. Another really great tool is YouTube and videos where you can type in, how do I find this? How do I find that? And it will help you learn how to do those statistical tests, okay? So let me know if you have any questions, and that is all.